Hello and welcome to the 1895 podcast with me, Thomas D.
And me, Rob Cockerell.
Rob, we're recently here in the studio discussing LNG and bio-LNG. And we teased a couple of episodes at the end of last episode and where we want to go with that conversation. So today I feel like we should develop on that and talk about waste to power, I guess.
What a topic. Yeah, what a bonus episode for our listeners. Yes, we did tease that, and it is all about waste today, isn't it? We talked about bio-LNG. I think I referenced the fact that this is, these fuels are gaining traction, and there's a feeling in the waste to fuel sector that actually this pathway is right here. It's here, it's available, we need to do something with it. It's a very circular story and business model. So let's talk a bit more about that. Yeah, and we actually have an interview coming up a bit later on in the episode, don't we, for some of those working within the space, perhaps away from our industrial gas very much outside area, yeah. But still great to always get that outside perspective, isn't it? But first off, I'd like to bring this story to our listeners of a biomethane hub set to add to Tasmania's gas grid. This is a facility that will be based in the rural town of Westbury in Tasmania, of course, Australia. And this will be a 50 million Australian dollar renewable gas facility that will process around 36,000 tonnes of agri-food and other organic waste into biomethane that will then be injected into the gas grid. So that is very much sticking within this theme of waste and making the most of that waste. Yeah, absolutely. And it should be, I think they said it would be operational or could start supplying biomethane by early 2026 and properly begin commercial operations in Q1 2027. A great example of everything I've said. The waste is there. We have to do something with it anyway. So why not turn that into a useful fuel? It's an abundant opportunity right on our doorstep, so to speak. And also on the note of waste, also in Australia, I'd like to bring you this story separate to this first one I mentioned, but brick manufacturer Austral Bricks, they'll be using up to 150,000 tonnes of landfill waste to produce biogas and generate electricity and heat for this facility and to fire the brick manufacturing. Again, another sizable investment of 81.4 million Australian dollars there. So Australia going hard on this. Yeah, they are. Yeah, and also in neighbouring New Zealand, if we can really say that. We've seen that they're refining policies in New Zealand to build their biogas sector. Around 3 pillars, in fact, as it described itself as facing a pivotal moment in its energy sector with declining natural gas reserves. So, there's another angle on this. It's not just a circularity story. It's actually, we're running out of other fuels, so we need to do this. There's a pressing need for it. And they've cited the industry collaboration across the energy, the waste, and the industrial sectors as key to unlocking the potential and making this happen. So yeah, another story close by. And then of course, Tom, I think we've got a story in Italy, haven't we? A bit closer to home for us here in Europe. They certainly have, and yeah, on a couple of fronts as well, because Italy biomethane production is set to receive a €300 million boost into developing at least 20 biomethane plants in Italy by 2030. So the company, which is headquartered in Spain, in fact, has been active in Italy for over 15 years and plans to expand its biomethane business via its renewable gases division, Borig. Yeah, and I think 2 weeks later, if I'm not mistaken, we saw that Italy's Ministry of the Environment and Energy Security had allocated close to €200 million for biomethane development too. It provides further impetus for that rapidly growing sector. And yeah, it's closely tied to that story you mentioned with the tech developer Solaric. Plenty going on in Italy and plenty going on in Europe, in fact, because in France, Suez have launched a biogenic CO2 recovery unit
that produces over 45 gigawatts an hour of biomethane each year, and this new unit will enable the recovery of 3,500 tons of biogenic CO2 from organic waste sourced from supermarkets, local authorities, the agri-food industry, and agriculture residues. That's what Suez says.
Yeah, and we can see investment at all levels, from the private stakeholders to the national governments to the European Investment Bank, the EIB. We saw at the end of July that the EIB approved a loan of up to 264 million euros to the energy firm Snam for the construction of a 240 kilometre of new pipelines to integrate that biomethane production into the gas networks, in this instance in Italy's gas transmission network. So there's lots going on, isn't there? We talked about the DHL on the kind of vehicle side of it, the usage, using bio-LNG as well. We've got other case studies, different takes on waste with SAFs and aviation. There seems to be a story every week around that. So there's so much going on in this waste sector.
Yes, so many stories in front of me here on the Gasworld website discussing this waste to energy, and we'd be here all day if we were going to run through all of those. So listeners, be sure to visit gasworld.com to get your fix of that. But I think now would be a good time to get into this interview, wouldn't it?
I think it would. I think, look, we've talked about some of the technologies you need to physically make that purification and that kind of transition from waste to fuel happen. That's very much where the overlaps are in our space. But of course, you do also need technologies of a very different kind, digital operating systems and ways of managing that waste and what to do with it. And I think that's what we've got coming up here with an interview with Resourceify.
Yes, this was our friend at SBH4 Consulting, Stephen Harrison. He spoke to the CEO of Resourceify, Gary Lewis, at a recent convention in Munich. So this will be an interesting listen, won't it?
It will, and Steve's been very active.
So hello everybody, this is Steve, and today we're at the IFAT in Munich, the world's biggest circularity, recycling and waste management fair. And I have the pleasure just now of being talking to Gary Lewis, who is the CEO of Resourceify. Gary, say hi.
Hi, good morning.
Listen, Gary, I understand that you have a software platform that links people who have waste with other people who can help them dispose of that waste. Is that right?
That's right, and the goal behind that is to help companies reach their net zero circular targets. So if they have a strategy and they want to bring it to life and they have materials and they don't know what to do with them, we're there to support and scale that impact across Europe or around the world.
Fantastic. And I read somewhere that Forbes has nominated you one of the 30 under 30, top startup celebs worldwide. Is that true?
That is true. I'm over that limit now, so I'm not going to get it again. But yes, I was nominated for this. Yes.
I'd have to turn the time back about 30 years to be eligible. Well, congratulations for that, and it's wonderful to see your business going from success to success. A couple of questions I'd love to throw at you, please, Gary. Firstly, I'm particularly interested in battery recycling, let's say lithium-ion batteries from phones or from cars. Is your platform able to help people with the management of lithium-ion batteries and their recycling?
Yes. So we have 260 different waste materials which are running over the platform, or one of those waste streams is of course batteries, and in particular lithium-ion batteries. So yeah, we see that material occurring a lot, and it's very important to document, track, trace, be compliant with the recycling of those materials. So yes, it's something we have as part of the platform.
So tell me, if you don't mind, a bit about the revenue model. Who pays? Is it the guys with the waste, or is the guys collecting the waste?
So two-sided platform, we have a majority focus on waste producers, and the way it works is the bigger waste is as a topic for you, meaning the more locations or the more waste streams that you have, the more you pay, and the less you pay. And it's done normally on a percentage of the volume, where we just charge a flat fee for platform access and usage, very transparent, very simple.
So the collectors of the waste are effectively coming onto the platform but aren't being charged a fee, is that correct?
That's right, it's totally free for them to participate and gain access to big customers. as well and offer their services. We do have some optional upsells for them, some tools that help them in particular with subcontractor management, which is quite a big topic. But in principle for the recyclers, yes, it's free.
Fantastic. There's another waste stream that particularly interests me, Gary, if that's okay. And I'm thinking about deconstruction or demolition waste. So, we had a house and we knocked the house down. We want to build a new house, and a lot of, let's say, waste wood is generated, or waste concrete demolition waste. Is your platform able to cope with, let's say, waste wood and waste concrete?
Yes, those are some of the biggest fractions, in particular because they're very heavy fractions as well. You have, a mixed construction waste, pure construction waste, concrete, wood. Those are all very heavy. Wood, in the case of wood, also can be quite a valuable waste stream. Yes, we have hundreds of thousands of tons of those. Those are amongst the top categories that we help customers to track, trace, and recycle.
And you mentioned there that you believe waste wood is quite a valuable waste stream. How are people valorizing waste wood, Gary?
A lot of options when it comes to wood. The best form is that you do some type of on-site crushing or shredding or something like that, and then you have more of a pure secondary raw material that you can then sell into the market. Depends on the quantity, obviously. But wood is waste to energy. That's a huge topic for wood. I don't know if it's the best long-term usage, right? But it's regenerative, so I think it's okay. We also have reusing wood and downcycling wood, if it's depending on the category, R4, R3, etc. Is also another usage of it. In the retail space, wood is also a very big waste stream. Big supermarket customers that have 4,000, 8,000 plus locations belonging to them, and every location has this topic. So it's really, it gathers very quickly. Also in the building market space, we have most of the major building market companies, Hornbach, Obi, Thum, and they produce really a lot of wood because a lot of it's packaging. It often comes in a packaging form.
So MIC pallets, for example, or if it's come in a crate that needs to be securely packaged, wood lining and whatever, and once they've opened the package, they want to throw the packaging away, and you're able to help them find a good home for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you have one-way pallets quite often, not a Euro pallet like a reusable one, but single-use pallets. These are very valuable sources of materials. You can sell these; they have a value attached to them. So that's also a good example.
And when you say you can sell them, I mean, you're not taking that money yourself. That's basically a transaction between the various different members on your platform. Would that be right?
Correct. So we are just the platform is the infrastructure that allows you to do that. We're not actively involved with the sale or the receiving of the money for the wood. That all goes to the customer. We have tools for accounting and running that process, but it's itself is for the customer, of course.
And is it like an auction that people can bid for the waste wood or something? I mean, how are the prices determined?
A spot market, I think, in the waste sector is something which doesn't work very well. We don't believe in that. What we believe in is long-term, stable relationships with dependable, reliable suppliers, recyclers. So we go down that pathway, right? Who's the best in that area for that material stream, for the recycling route that you want to have, and then facilitate a connection with those that leads to you having not one supplier, but maybe 50 or 100. We have customers that have 400 plus recycling suppliers, and you can manage them all in one platform. That's also part of what we do.
So you're also kind of offering, if I can say, a matchmaking service to help those waste sources find the right people to take it off their hands, local to them, so that we're not shipping it up and down the motorways, 200 kilometers, and keep it local and keep it cost effective.
That's right, to a degree, yes. I mean, what we specialize on is the process and the digitization and the enablement of that to happen. Often customers have their own partners that they want to work with. We have very skilled and specialized customers who know, hey, I want to work with exactly that company. The issue that they have is if they do so, it becomes very complicated, right? So they have then a ton of new partners, different standards. You lose the overview, and then you increase the cost instead of decreasing it because you have to put 5 new people in the admin department. So what we specialize on is really not just finding the partners, but enabling you to work with them in a way that's scalable and cost effective.
Scalable and cost effective, absolutely fantastic, and convenient as well, I'm absolutely sure of it. There's one other thing that I'd just love to throw by you here. I mean, we hear a lot more about CO2 management. A lot of people are trying to collect CO2 from industrial processes, large and small scale and whatever, maybe liquefy it, distribute it by the road or rail or whatever. And I'm just curious to know, I mean, would your platform either already be or in the future be ready for people are saying, hey, listen, I've got 200 tons of liquid CO2, and somebody over here says, hey, I want to aggregate 1 million tons of CO2, bring it on. I mean, are you able to connect people in that respect?
I love this idea. To be very transparent, it's something we do not currently do. We haven't seen that yet, but I'd love to have more discussions on that. I think that's a very, very exciting area. I think it's a growing area, and it's something which I'd love to. I don't think we could support, but it's not something that we've done yet.
Fantastic. But again, a bit like the lithium-ion batteries, we're dealing with things that are not simple, straightforward wood. There's some chemical element to it. But with regard to hazardous goods, or like the lithium-ion batteries where we need to be careful with flammables, you're able to track and manage those kinds of regulations and things?
This is our sweet spot, because you have such a high complexity in such a topic. You not only have this, you have sort of, who's certified to transport what, are the documents signed, is the process done? You have a whole bunch of other transportation regulations which need to be taken into account. So hazardous waste management, we have a module for this. It's something that we do. We have a signing. It's called ERNV in German, so it's a signature process for the transportation of hazardous waste. So that also applies, I would assume, to some of those categories. So yes, something that we do, and a reason why you need a platform, because if you want to do that without any type of automation, again, you need those 5 people in the back office to do it for you. And you probably can't afford that because it's going to destroy your cost curve. And that stops recycling, and we're here to enable recycling. So,
fantastic, what a great way to finish. Actually, talking about finish, there's one other question I'd love to throw at you, talking about hazardous goods disposal and thinking about the environment. What about spent refrigerant gases, F-gases? Releasing those to the atmosphere is a big problem. Need to be transferred under a waste transfer note. I mean, I'm listening to you, I'm kind of thinking, hey, you've got a platform that can cope with that, right?
Yep, this is another waste stream where we have a lot of movement. We have refrigerators, we have different components, we have specialist recyclers for such things. This is normally slightly more expensive than, let's say, wood recycling, but it's something which is very important, yeah. And again, if you come back to the retail example, they have tens of fridges per store, so we're talking thousands of fridges which are in refrigerants per year, which need to be dealt with, which we see over the platform as well.
Fantastic. Everything I'm asking you've got an answer for, Gary. Gary Lewis, pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, that was a bit different for us, Tom. Not, I could understand if people were thinking, where's the link there? But it's just important to give a different vibe, and very much about end-to-end waste management and circularity solutions there. And that probably brings this bonus episode to an end, Tom.
Yeah, an interesting episode and covering a topic that we don't often get the chance to. Perhaps we can revisit this theme with an interview of our own later this year or down the line somewhere.
I think we should, and I love these bonus episodes as well. I love jumping on these.
Yeah, they're great. Let's do some more in the coming weeks. So for listeners, to get those straight into your feed, like, follow and share the 1895 podcast.